Hey guys, it's just Sasha, the Princess of Darkness, of course your first and only transgender horror hostess with the mostest and a little bit extra. Anyways, as you can tell, we don't have EM sitting beside my side, simply put because I want to talk to you about Transgender Day of Visibility. This happens every March on the 31st. Basically, it's a day to promote awareness and visibility of the transgender community. Because as you can imagine, we are a very marginalized community. Even within the greater LGBTQIA, or LGBT if you want to keep it simple. I always like to give out the whole entire LGBTQIA simply because I want to be as inclusive as possible. But today is our day, to say the least. It's a day where people like myself, if we're comfortable doing so, we make ourselves visible and we make ourselves known. Today was kind of productive for me because I was able to sit down with Wilson College, at least their associates there, to talk about getting Pride started here in Franklin County, which is Pennsylvania. And of course, getting a Second Chance Prom as a charity event for the local Equality Center going. So it's been a very productive day and very symbolic. But basically, the reason why I'm visible, and everybody has their own story, is simply put, life has thrown me more than a few curveballs. And I always felt that growing up I was living a life that wasn't my own. I think we all do, to some degree, you know. When you're born with a penis, unfortunately, the expectation is that you're going to be male and a man's man. And the reality of the situation is there's three factors in play with life when it comes to identity. You have gender, which is upstairs, how you identify, how you express it. Sexuality, which is basically whom you interact with in a physical nature, sometimes. And then of course you have sex, which is in between the legs, to say the least. And this is the thing. Granted, you hear the old tired and true motto of boys have a penis and girls have a vagina. This isn't the case. Some boys do have a penis. Some boys have a vagina. Some girls have a penis. Some girls have a vagina. How you identify up here isn't determined by the sum of your bits, so to speak. And society has for the longest time kind of pressured us into that. You can turn on an 80s movie like Kindergarten Cop and see this tried and true bullshit that's there. Just know that even though people like to bring up science and religion and things of that nature, there's a million different things that disprove those arguments. For example, when you deal with science and biology, you can talk about the AIS syndrome, which is basically meaning your chromosomes say one thing even though your body says another. Parrotfish, animals that change gender, the children of the Givadeses that are children that change gender once they hit puberty. And this is something that doesn't happen because of pills or hormones or anything. It's just something that happens. They start out female and suddenly they have penises. It's not uncommon. So just because something happens in the animal kingdom doesn't mean that humans are excluded from that, because it does happen. So yeah, some like those people in New York riding around their bus promoting their hate and their false sciences, things of that nature. Yeah, you don't have to buy into it. It's crap. I don't know. They're not telling the truth. And even though they say that they're the free speech bus, they're promoting hate. They're not promoting free speech. And yes, there's a difference. Because free speech has to basically have facts and truths to back it up. Hate speech doesn't necessarily have that. And that's why the Constitution in all of its glory has a thing, a terminology in it known as fighting words. And basically that means if you're going to say something out in public, you better have the chutzpah to basically back it up. If you don't, that can put you in all kinds of actionable situations. A lot of people don't know that. So even though, yes, the Constitution does protect free speech, it doesn't protect hate speech. So today I just wanted to be visible. I wanted to come out on the internet and talk with y'all and see how you guys are doing and check in with you, because at the end of the day I wear many hats. Yes, I'm Sasha, the Princess of Darkness. I'm also Mama Sasha to my own children, as well as to children within my community. I'm an advocate, I'm an activist. I wouldn't say I'm a role model, because let's face it, I like to dress skimpy. Today was meeting day with big wigs, so you don't really want to dress to impress. And yes, I cuss like a sailor, because that's me. It's how I express myself. And there's people out there who's going to criticize everything that you do. It doesn't matter if you toe the line to whatever degree. They're going to pretend that you're hiding something. And if you don't toe the line, they're going to judge you for everything that you have. You're going to have critics no matter what you do. And I know in my community, that's one of the reasons why a lot of people don't come out. Some people don't have the unique factors that I had to go through. But I will tell you that it wasn't something that I realized until later in life, until I had already had children, until I was married and divorced, until I faced some health issues. So I almost faced my own death, and you get to a point where you wake up and you realize that you have to live the life that's right for you in order to be happy, in order to continue about. Because think of it this way, with our community, the transgender community, the LGBTQIA community as a whole, our suicide rate is 50%. Life is short. If we're not trying to kill ourselves, other people are trying to kill us, and you can see the statistics in the news for that. But that's why visibility is important. That's why awareness is important. This isn't a new thing. This is something that's existed as far back as the Roman period, far back as the Native Americans. Hell, Native Americans celebrated us as basically two spirits. Hell, the Norse basically believed we were blessed and touched by Odin himself. We practically built Rome. You know, for a more modern reference, we're the reason why Stonewall happened. You know, the first Pride was a riot, and bitches like me were the ones who were really pushing back and fighting back for our rights and our freedoms. So this isn't anything new. And I know everybody likes to say it's a transition for everybody, and it's like, really? Are you opting for surgery as well? But the thing of it is that this is your own journey, and you gotta do what's right for you. I always tell everybody, you know, if you don't stand, who will? I've been doing a lot of standing, because I know there's a lot of you that have a hard time standing. Maybe your situation is easy. You know, I've been there. But know that you're not alone, and that it's never too late. It took me over 30 years to figure it out. Okay, and I came from a time where there was no words, there was nobody on a camera to tell you their experience. We live in such a wonderful age now. We're all connected. We're not a small community anymore. People like to say, well, you only account for 1% of the population. Honey, we account for a hell of a lot more. It's just that a lot of us are closeted and scared because the ignorance and the hate mongering and the fear that's out there. Again, see the bus roaming New York City that's trying to force incorrect views and incorrect science down our throats because people think they're protecting their families. When in reality, the transgender community isn't a threat to anybody's family. Simply put, the way I phrased it to somebody recently, do you really want me in the men's room with your husband, son, brother? Seriously, get over it. And you know, people who are worried about us in the restroom, we're the ones who most often get attacked and assaulted than anybody else. So yeah, there's a lot of unrealistic people out there. We're not the violent ones. They are. And it's classic displacement. The world's looking for a scapegoat for all of its troubles. As large as the world is, we're getting smaller. And more people are starting to see that we're here. And granted, yes, it makes people uncomfortable, but you know, in the 50s and 60s when we desegregated, it made people uncomfortable. Prior to that, I mean, there was wars that were fought over religions and races. And the world's different now. We need to get past the hate. We need to promote progress. We need to promote unity. And we need to be visible. And we need to be aware. And granted, I don't feel that Caitlyn was one of the best examples of somebody stepping forward in the transgender community. there's plenty of examples. I mean, we've had Christine Jorgensen from after World War II when she transitioned. That's why you have the movie Glenn or Glenda from Ed Wood. Ed Wood himself. Again, this isn't something new. This is something that's been around a while. Gender norms change constantly. I mean, the guys who signed the Constitution, let's be honest, they wore high heels and wigs. So yeah, I don't think when they wrote that all men are created equal in the Constitution that they were trying to exclude women or transgender people or anything of that nature. They were talking about the human race as a whole. But that's the thing, and I know it's hard. And for those of you who can stand, I say stand. Stand. Be loud. Be proud. Be you, and don't be afraid to be you. For those who can't stand, we'll stand for you. And I just want you to know you're not alone. There's a lot of us that are working to make it a little bit easier for you. We get to be the trailblazers. We get to be the ones who walk point and hold down that position until the cavalry comes. And hopefully it comes soon, because there are days when even I'm tired, because I'm human. But we're here, and we're ready, and we're waiting, and we have open arms. So don't be afraid. Be yourself. You know, if you see me out at the pub and you're afraid, I got your back. That's what we're here for. We're a family. You're stuck with me. Deal with it. But at the end of the day, yeah. I don't know. I'm not the best example in the world. I have my critics. But I do what I do. And you should do what you do. And make yourself happy. Because, trust me, you can't live a lie and you can't be miserable. Live your own truth. Because, you know, beauty is truth and truth is beauty. And when you are who you are, it's the greatest shine that you'll ever see. So, something to think about. So stand. So, my brothers and my sisters of the transgender community, please stand today. Please make it be known that you're a friend and that you're an ally, and let it be known to your brothers and sisters that they're not alone, and that we're here. Anyways, in the meantime, I want you all to be nice to each other, love each other, take care.